He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
Kia ora, Pilina here from Culture 101. Every Sunday, just after 1:30, we're joined by one of our regular cast of reviewers to explore the latest movies. This week, Kate Rodger's here to talk about black comedy The Drama, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and Hunt For The Wilderpeople 10 Years On. Let's launch into your films for this week. Let's start with A24's new film, The Drama.
The Drama,
directed by Christopher Borgli, stars Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. Now, it's a dark black comedy in which a very happily engaged couple, they're put to the test when an unexpected revelation sends their wedding week off the rails. Let's have a listen to a clip.
So, before we got married, we did this thing where we said the worst thing we've ever done.
Okay. I'll tell mine if we all do it. Promise?
What did you do?
This dog.
Beer bottles and porn.
You left him there overnight.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing I've ever done?
Okay,
Are you serious?
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna order an Uber.
Emma, what the
Am I sensing some nerves? Remember, you know each other really well.
You have to stop thinking about it.
How can you even trust her?
You're being incredibly hypocritical.
What a dilemma.
What a dilemma. It's called The Drama for a reason. And interestingly, over the last sort of 6 or 7 months, it's been a drama in itself. This film has, it's easy to say it has an extraordinary twist. We know something goes awry. And it's important not to know what comes to light, because that's not our job, is it, darling, to ruin an entire film. But it certainly became the subject across many Reddit users and conversations, kind of a leak, I guess, leading into it, because the word problematic gets bandied around, and often it means it's a subject that some people would prefer to veer away from. At the heart of this, regardless of how you feel about the monumental twist, is the basis of human connection and the secrets and the lies that we might tell, or the versions of ourselves that we might reveal, or things that we've done we don't even want to confess to. This takes it to a very extreme level. And it was so interesting when after I'd seen the film and was doing a bit more reading up, because I could now, because I wasn't afraid of the spoilers, is that kind of notion of it being a dramedy or a part comedy. And I thought, did I laugh during this? Because I found it incredibly confronting to kind of watch. But then I realised, of course I did, but it was always a very nervous laughter. You know, it's not a comedy. It's not watching Ryan Gosling and Rocky. It's a very different situation where you're just like, when a wedding goes off the rails in the most insane way, but it's not joyous laughter, which I find really interesting.
It's a laughter because you don't quite know what else to do.
Yeah.
Now, I saw 50 minutes of this film.
How did you see 50?
Because I went to a screening and with my dear friend who started having a coughing fit.
Oh.
And so we just thought, okay, let's not be those people, and we will watch this again together.
Gotcha.
After. But by that point, I had watched the reveal.
Right.
So I know what the reveal is in the,
yes.
we don't want to spoil it.
No, we don't.
But there were people laughing around me quite a lot, and it didn't feel like a nervous laughter, so that was interesting.
Yeah, so there must be more comedy in it than I can remember. I literally only saw it 2 days ago, but that wasn't my takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't my takeaway.
And also, can you talk a bit about the way that it's been done? Because it's A24, so it's a little bit, I guess you could say, kooky. The music is quite interesting, and the way they overlay past images or past scenes, it's cut in quite an interesting pace as well.
Which I loved, and that's how I like to see when we think about flashbacks. This is a very different notion of a flashback, and it's done in a really kind of pop culture-esque almost way. But that feeds into the pseudo glamification of the revelation.
Yeah.
This is going to be so weird for people listening, going, "What's she talking about?" But there is an element of kind of exploring something that's so ghastly in a way that that, not that we can connect with, but that I think's potentially kind of fresh in terms of storytelling. And for me, I loved it, but I always love storytellers exploring different ways of connecting the tissue between the here and the now, or the future and the back into the story. And I think it's really, really key here to highlight just the standard of performances across the board. Zendaya is, if I think it's so insane if it's kind of Mickey Mouse Club and putting out albums and then The Greatest Showman, and then the next thing that we're just completely blown away by is Euphoria, which season 3 is about to come out, where she plays a drug-addled teenager called Rue. She's won Emmys for it and Golden Globes. She's extraordinary in that. And then you have her in massive blockbusters like Spider-Man and Dune. And so interesting that she's going to be with Robert Pattinson in the next June as well. And Pattinson, I mean, Twilight through to Batman, through to this, extraordinary performances, can I say, from both of them. And hers is almost it's a much more difficult role. And so you kind of come away and thinking, wow, Pattinson was like amazing. But his expression as he goes off the rails a little bit with the revelation that his fiancée has made a week out of the marriage, he kind of, it's a much bigger, it's a performance which fills a frame, whereas hers is much more restrained. But there is a little bit in the trailer that we heard, which is a dinner between her and her best mates, their best mates. And Rachel is played by Alana Haim, one of the Haim sisters. And
of the band,
Of the band. I honestly, even when she popped up in One Battle After Another, I just thought, every time I see her, Licorice Pizza was kind of the solidification of I want to watch this woman. And her role as Rachel is so, so good. And the fascinating thing with this whole, we're a little bit drunk, but let's go around the table and say the worst thing that we've done. It's so interesting to me because for some viewers, it was Rachel's confession that was just like, what? You really did that. It was obviously about to be extremely overtaken by Zendaya's character, Emma's confession, but it was still, each one of the characters bar one had kind of done something relatively gross. Like, I don't know how you feel about this, and I don't know if it's ever happened to you, Paulina, but have you ever had a guy hit on you and tell you how much he's loved a film or a book, but he's never read the film or a book, but you're reading the book? The whole film here starts out with him basically looking over her shoulder, Googling on Goodreads what her book is, and then coming over and pretending to share that passion. Nothing makes me wilder than that. It's starting off in a grotesque lie.
I think grotesque and lie is the best way to describe it, because there's something about these characters revealing quite an ugly part of themselves,
Correct,
right? And
that's
agreeing
right.
that we're all going to do this thing.
Yeah.
And whatever comes out, we'll deal with it. But that's sort of the theme of this film as well. It's the ugly parts of ourselves, and then also the difference between what we're capable of and then what we actually do and what we feel that we're capable of.
So true.
And so there's that, it's a dilemma. It's a real pickle.
Which is why I haven't stopped thinking about it. I mean, I genuinely haven't. It's not going to be my film of the year. It's not going to. There are parts of it that will stay with me because most stories do in some way, shape or form. I think I'm turning into that scene from Inside Out when they have to go through the long-term memory, start taking them out because I've got no more storage left. But there is parts of this that were, scenes or the way that it made me feel, which I found very intense. And that's what I want out of my storytelling. And I loved as soon as the lights went down, and this was an 11 a.m. screening, there was about maybe 10 people, but nobody left. And I was the only loser on my own. And the other one, it was nobody left, and they were just quietly chatting. I love that.
That's quite nice.
It's a real conversation starter.
Okay, that is The Drama, which is in cinemas now. Next one is one for the kids, one for the school holidays, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. This stars Glenn Powell, Anya Taylor-Joy, Jack Black. It's a full, star cast. This is the animated adventure comedy film based off the 2007 video game. It's Nintendo's broader Mario franchise. It's a sequel to the Super Mario Brothers. Here is a clip.
Bye, suckers!
Get back here!
No! You can't catch the wind!
I just kind of did.
It was a metaphor!
You should probably spit him out.
Ooh, that was intense.
Oh my God, it's like fingernails down a blackboard, isn't it? No, let me start by saying I also was the only person on my own in the cinema, which takes on quite a sinister kind of a feel when you realise it's a kids' movie. But Max refused to come with me. No, he was my support guy. I said, I need your opinion. Anyway.
Is he being a defiant teenager?
We're 13 now. It's this is a level of hell I have no time right now to go into. However, he didn't come along. But the cinema was packed. And it was interestingly packed. There was one massive group behind me. I'm going to say at least 2 rows of probably 3 generations going to see this film. I will confess off the get-go that I don't know. I thought that Super Mario Brothers was a pizza brand. We don't play. I have never had a Nintendo, and it feels almost sacrilegious that I'm reviewing this film. But what I will say is, there is so much colour and movement and light, and it's definitely for crazy fans who love the game and who love the last movie, which did incredibly well, and also young kids. It's just like it's a tasty kind of kinetic energy and colour and mushrooms and flowers and and honestly, I couldn't understand a word of it. But everyone else seemed to be thoroughly enjoying it. It's interesting. Do you know what? This has had the biggest opening day in the US for the year, Paulina, and globally since it opened like a couple of days ago. $370 million at the box office.
Wow.
It is mental. So people absolutely love this film. It's full of heart. Most people, I haven't seen the first one, but they're saying this is a step down from the first one, but it's not stopping people going to the cinema. And do you know what's interesting? We think about Zootopia 2. Not nearly as good as Zootopia. Became the biggest box office animated film of all time.
That makes me so happy.
Everybody's going to these films.
Yeah.
So families are still going.
Yes.
And animated films are still making a huge amount of money. Great cast. Jack Black, he obviously did Minecraft. He likes his video game adaptations. Hopefully Minecraft 2 will come back down to New Zealand, fingers crossed. So my feeling of it is relatively innocuous, but I can see it connecting with the audience. And if you love all of those characters, if you love Mario and Luigi and you're into that story, it's like someone reviewing a Star Wars film that hasn't really followed Star Wars. I know there are a lot of people out there who are going to hate on me for this, but it was hard to connect without really being a fan of the game, I guess, Paulina. But it had all the little touchstones that you want in a family flick, and certainly the audience I was with, they were really into it.
But how good to hear that people are going to the movies because, and I don't want to harp on about it, but Project Hail Mary, same thing, has had a great opening, success and has continued to do so.
Do you know what that film's done? The stats came out yesterday that for the first quarter of the US box office, it's been the best first quarter since COVID. And it's Project Hail Mary and also Avatar Fire and Ash still holding from December last year.
Yeah, right.
And those 2 big films have been, and plus all the other little ones that have popped in there. So that fills people with hope, and it harks back again to what Ryan Gosling said, which has been quoted a lot when he was doing marketing for this film. He said it's not up to us, the plebs, to keep the movies. He said it's up to us to make films you want to see. And I thought, yes, of course. I mean, it seems every single filmmaker makes a film that they want audiences to come and see. But if you take something that, if you call Project Hail Mary, that awful term, the 4 quadrant, which is literally appealing to every demographic, and bring everybody into the cinema, but also just sustain it. Like, I've seen it twice, I'd see it a third time. People are going to keep coming over. And another great thing, it's an Amazon film, and it kind of makes you stop and you go, okay, let's hope Amazon looks at that and the amount of money and how well it's done in the cinema, so that they look at their business model and know that, yes, their streaming is a focus, but there's nothing like a great film.
Well, let's open at the cinema first, right?
Correct, and for a good stretch as well. Give the cinema a big bite of the pie, or they'll simply disappear. 231 cinemas closed down last year, AMC only in the States. It's not extinction level, but it's definitely a conversation that we need to keep having.
Okay, and lastly, let's talk about 10 years on since Hunt for the
Baker.
Well, Hunt for the Wilderpeople, let's have the clip.
Yes.
Ricky Baker, happy birthday. Once rejected, now accepted by me and Hector. We're a trifecta. Ricky Baker, Ricky Baker, Ricky Baker, Ricky Baker, Ricky Baker,
Ricky Baker joining in.
Oh, so good.
When Julian Dennison joins in, it's one of my favourite bits. It's Sam Neill,
Yeah.
Rima Tuiata. It's Rachel House.
Yeah.
What a cast.
What a cast.
10 years on, does it hold up?
It absolutely does. And after all the back chatter gave Max, darling, I took him to see Wilderpeople, the cast and crew big red carpet that they had on Tuesday here in Auckland. And he'd never seen the film. And I'd wanted him to see it on the big screen. And it was, he was just absolutely entranced, laughed from start to finish. And it was quite late, and there was a fabulous Q&A with Taika and Sam and all of the cast and crew that the fabulous Jackie Brown hosted. And I said, Max, let's sneak out because it's quite late. And he said, oh, no, can we stay for the Q&A? He loved it, and I loved it. Well, I mean, I've obviously seen it several times at home, but on the big screen, it's just glorious. Do you want to know something that shocked me to my core?
Go on.
I was lucky to have a chat with Taika and Sam during the week.
Yeah.
And Taika told me his first draft of this, he wanted to be a serious filmmaker. He wanted to get into Cannes. So Heck dies.
Oh.
And Ricky Baker ends up on the street. That was his first draft.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Wilderpeople, can you imagine? So he made another couple of films, Sorry Boy and Eagle versus Shark, and then he kind of thought, I think I need to change it. Make it a bit happier. And Sam was sitting next to him on the sofa kind of, he must have known that story, but he was still giving a bit of a side eye. And aren't we all happy that he did that, because it is so heartwarming. And that central relationship between Ricky Baker and Uncle Heck, it's a beautiful thing. It's hilarious, obviously, but it's also that real taste that we had from Taika and Boy, where you take something, I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it in 10 years, he has to deal with Auntie Bella dying very early on in the piece, but they do it in such a way that you still feel, but then he carries it through and enters into your chambers of your heart through comedy. It really, well and truly still holds its own, and it's in cinemas up and down the country. So if your kids haven't seen it, take them. There's a couple of pig-killing scenes, but nothing too drastic, and a few cuss words here and there, but nothing too drastic.
And just how cool to be celebrating a film again, 10 years on, because I just don't think that happens
It doesn't.
often at all. So
And getting everybody together,
Yes.
seeing the cast together and their connective tissue. And I know with Taika, a lot of them had been making films together with him before. But
Rachel House
at this
especially.
great, just his right-hand woman. We had, because young Julian couldn't make it, he kind of zoomed in on the big screen and chatted to everybody. And I mean, look at that dude. He's over making a huge film in the UK, and obviously been in Deadpool. And it's just what a launching pad for him. And he's such a star of this film. It was a delight to see. So go see Hunt for the Wilderpeople.
Go see Hunt for the Wilderpeople. That is back in cinemas up and down the country for its 10th anniversary, which is very, very cool. Kate Rodger, thank you very much for coming in
Easter.
for the big screen. Happy Easter. Happy Easter.